Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the 19th of September 2018. I'm Roy Potter, and this is an impromptu report on the Potter Expositor. And I'll bet you have no idea about what it is, right? Hello, everyone, as you come in. You know, a lot of people are talking about this now. I really didn't know if I should take the time and take you away from the real reporters and journalists out there, if there are any, of course, that are discussing this, but might wonder why I'm wearing the hat. You know, I don't normally do things like that. I'll talk about my military time, but I don't really advertise it that much. You know, I'll discuss it. I'll say that I was in it, but I never wear this hat. I never do. I keep it in my office on a little spot on the shelf, and this is the first time I've ever worn it, actually. But I felt like I need, and I know the image is reversed for you guys. Of course, it says U.S. Army on there. Uh, but it's time. It's time. I've been saying for a long time that the intelligence community is our most dangerous domestic enemy. In fact, it is a seditious, treasonous part of the government, along with all of its agencies, including the DOJ, the FBI, not just the CIA, the State Department, and we could go on and on. And we have treasonous activity, of course, also in Silicon Valley, of course, and a lot of other places, trying to destroy the First Amendment, Second Amendment, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, everything. I have been talking about this for a long time, and I've been saying for close to 2 years now that President Trump was not facing a political opposition, that what he was facing was war, was real life warfare. And I've been warning about this for a long time. So here we are. Most of you know that because of the criminality in the Department of Justice and the FBI and the IC, President Trump ordered that the FISA information, FBI texts, some of those documents, all be immediately released without redactions. Well, we knew that they were going to slow walk it, but today Jeff Sessions and Rosenstein basically said they're not going to do it. This is mutiny, ladies and gentlemen. This is mutiny. And mutiny is a treasonable deal, okay? And it's executable. You can be executed for hung, shot, whatever. Well, this has gone too far. We not only have this problem in the DOJ. Look at what some people in Congress did. They sent that letter to members of the IC telling them that they should not cooperate with this order from the president, but indeed talk to the Gang of Eight first, part of the Senate Intelligence Committee. This is outright mutiny. This is not just a constitutional crisis. This is, in fact, a civil war between the leftist Marxists and and those who support the constitutional republic and are trying to keep it. This is an actual civil war between. I've been telling you for a long time that there is an internal war going on in the government, and now we're seeing its actual head. Now, I don't want to belabor the point right now because I want you to go and watch what's going on in the news and try to decipher what's happening. But the bottom line is that there is a mutiny in the executive branch of the federal government, and there is sedition in the legislative branch, okay, as well. We could talk about some problems in the judicial branch, with all the things that they've tried to do, but I want to stay away from the judicial side right now. Just suffice it to say that, again, there is a mutiny, a criminal mutiny in the executive branch right now against the President of the United States, and there is seditious behavior by the legislature, members of the legislature. It's war, ladies and gentlemen, whether you realize it or not, it's war. Now, I've been calling a long time that Trump needs to take the gloves off and get ruthless and aggressive. Well, this was the start of that. We see how he's been met by people in his own branch of government. This is what he needs to do, and this is to you, President Trump. I don't know what your other plans are, but you at least got to consider this. Former Navy SEAL Matt Bracken, Craig Sawyer, and I have all called for this, okay? Invoke Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution of the United States and get the U.S. Marshal Service, along with who you can trust in the DHS and the Treasury Department, backed up by the U.S. Marines, and raid the DOJ, the FBI, the CIA, and if need be, the NSA, and all of the others. It's time, President Trump. You've got to go after this mutinous behavior or you're going to be looked at as weak. Is this going to start something really serious? Well, if you don't do it now, you're just kicking the can down the road. They're not going to let Kavanaugh, that vote's not going to happen. They're going to keep putting that off one way or the other unless Grassley gets some actual balls and says we're going to have a vote this Thursday. To hell with this feminazi who can't even keep her story straight. Okay? So that's all I'm going to say today. Yes, I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow morning. No, I won't be wearing the hat and I won't be in front of the flag. But this is serious. This is what I took my oath of office to prevent. These are the people that claim to be following the rule of law are using your own language against you, just like every Saul Alinsky follower does. And they have suspended the rule of law, and they are considering themselves and their institutions the law and the government, and they are not. Yes, I understand Kavanaugh's deep state, but that's another issue altogether right now, okay? And I realize that, and I talked about it in my live stream the other day. And I've said it several times that I don't trust him. Okay, I don't. But that's another issue at this point. Okay, so I took my oath of office against all enemies, foreign and domestic. All right? And I went to Bundy Ranch because I saw what China was doing and what Harry Reid and Hillary Clinton were doing to good farmers and ranchers and landowners in the United States. Stealing from them under color of law and under treaties that we have no necessity to follow, that are contrary to our constitutional republic. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. President Trump, I'm going to say it again. You have I realize the difficulties that are going to be involved in this and how horrible this could turn out, but to not act now is just kicking the can down the road. I don't know what your alternative plans are. I don't know. But in my estimation, and in many in the military that obviously are on Twitter, like Matt Bracken, now is the time to get your forces together and raid the DOJ, the FBI, the CIA, at a minimum, right now. Okay? U.S. Marshal Service, DHS, Treasury Department, backed up by the U.S. Marine Corps and anybody else in the Department of Defense that you can trust. If you can't trust people there, President Trump, please, we're here waiting. Activate Article 2, Section 2. And tell us who you want, and we'll be there. Like he's going to hear this, right? Ladies and gentlemen, the war I told you is in the government is now showing its ugly head, and it's manifesting itself. The leftist Marxists are clapping and saying, yeah, withstand this president. Block every move he makes. Do I like everything he does? No. You know how I feel about Syria. You know how I feel about him letting Jeff Sessions have reign in the Department of Justice on things like marijuana and civil asset forfeiture, just as some examples. Yes, things are out of control. Trump has to take the reins, and unfortunately, he's in a war, whether he likes it or not. Do you remember in Lord of the Rings, the King of Rohan, and I brought this up before, the King of Rohan is saying, I don't want to get into this war. My people aren't going to fare well. We don't want to do this. And I want to stop it. And King Aragorn says to him, well, war is upon you whether you want it or not. And that's where we are right now. President Trump, we're here. We're just waiting. Okay? That's all I got to say, ladies and gentlemen. There's a mutiny in the executive branch of the federal government, and it needs to be put down by force. There is sedition and maybe treason in the Congress, both the Senate and the House of the United States of America. And force needs to be used to put it down. Okay? That's where we are. Yes. Sorry, there's no other alternative. Not unless Trump has a contingency plan that can get around this. But without an attorney general to help him, I don't know who else he can do, who else he can trust. I don't want this. I don't want it. But we've allowed it to get to this point because we were too lazy and we were too complacent. There isn't any turning around right now. Something serious has to take place. All right. Yeah, I'm sick of hearing about plans too. It was time to act a long time ago, and I warned that this day was coming. All right, I want to be done here. No, Q didn't predict shit, okay? I don't want to see this Q stiff on here, tinfoil hat. I'm sorry, I like you, but I don't want to see that here. We were talking about this problem long before Q ever showed his head. I was around a lot longer before Q ever showed up. Q's an opportunist, and I'm going to stick to that. If you want to watch it, fine, go ahead and do it. But Q doesn't know crap. He just, if you look at everything he's done, he's got maybe if he's lucky, a 10% positive rate. Okay, all right, if he's lucky. Like I said, I look at the New York Times. All right, so you can look at Q what you want, but don't come and tell me that Q's an all-knowing military intelligence or next to the president. That's bullshit. It's a lie. That's close to fraud if it isn't fraud. Okay, now that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm not going to get drawn off into the Q thing anymore. Okay, President Trump, once again, you got a mutiny on your hands in the federal government. You can't let this pass. You can't. You can't let it pass. And you've got sedition and the other branch of government, the legislative branch, also the judicial branch, but we got to get that kind of out of the way for right now. Okay. All right, that's all I got to say. I'll see you tomorrow morning, hopefully. Okay. All right, we'll see you later out here.